Welcome to Best Friends in Franchising. I'm Morgan Knoller.
And I'm Catherine Allen.
If you're curious about franchising, exploring opportunities, or looking to diversify your portfolio, you're in the right place. We talk money, myths, mindset, and everything in between. Let's dive in. Catherine, tell us who we have on today.
I am very excited to introduce Moriah Blodgett. She is the owner of FIT4MOM Tri-Valley, which is a franchise that provides fitness classes for moms at every stage of motherhood. This includes prenatal workouts, stroller-based classes, and mom-only programs. She's a proud mom of two adorable boys. I've met them myself. Rex, who's 3.5, and Bo, who is 10 months, currently napping. So we're going to have to wrap this up quick. And Moriah is passionate about building strong communities where moms can connect, move, and thrive together. Before becoming a franchise owner, Moriah spent 8 years as an elementary school teacher for grades 2nd through 4th. She now is 2.5 years into running FIT4MOM Tri-Valley and has grown her franchise into one of the top 20 locations in the country out of 250 nationwide. So excited to have you on today, Moriah. How are you doing?
Of course. I'm great. Thank you so much for having me, ladies. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. It feels like yesterday when you reached out to me on Instagram. I think that's how you and I met to do a collaboration.
Yeah, that feels like forever ago. But yes, I think it was on Instagram, and then we met for coffee.
We met for coffee in Danville.
Yeah.
And you brought Rex, and we have become fast friends and business supporters of one another, because in this business of franchising, you need your tribe, right? And it's so helpful. And that's where Morgan and I have been so lucky to have each other with Soccer Stars and now Franchise Insiders Consulting. To get started, I think we wanted to learn a little bit about the beginning with FIT4MOM, your journey. Talk to us about, how did you find FIT4MOM?
Yeah. So after I had my first son, Rex, I was at home, loving being at home with him, but going a little bit crazy inside my house, looking for things to do. I'm very much an extroverted person, so I really wanted to get outside with other people, meet other moms. I don't have family in the area. I'm not from this area, so I was looking for friends. And I chatted with my sister who's from LA. And she recommended FIT4MOM because she had a FIT4MOM location down there. So she's like, check it out. See if you have a FIT4MOM. You would love it. It'd be perfect for you. So I found, I Googled FIT4MOM, and there was one right here in Tri-Valley. So it was wonderful. I convinced a friend to come with me who lived in Alamo at the time. We went to class in San Ramon, and I joined when my son was 8 weeks old and have been a member ever since. And then I was a member for like a year and a half. And I got an email one day that was like, your membership payment has been refunded. And I was like, what? And so I contacted the owner, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm closing down. And it gotten pretty small at that point. And so I wasn't like too surprised, but I was super bummed. And she made like a joke, like, unless you want to take it over, haha, like, let me know. And I was like, actually, let me think about that. I had been stay-home mom for a year and a half, and I loved being with my son, but I missed having something else for my brain to do, something for myself. And being an elementary school teacher, I was so used to like juggling all the things. But I knew I didn't want to like necessarily go back into teaching. I said, why not? Let's give it a try.
So this is like unique, because I feel like the FIT4MOM franchise owners that I've run into were brand new. Like, they bought into it, they started it from scratch, but you did not do that. So how did that transition work? Was it seamless? Did it feel like a little shaky? Did you have support right away? Like, I'm just so curious how that worked when it was previously owned and you took it over.
Yes. So I would say my situation as a resale is a little bit unique, because oftentimes with resale, you're buying like a fully functioning, very profitable business. And that wasn't necessarily my situation. We had gotten pretty small at that point. That previous owner, had a full-time job and 5 kids. So this was like her side hustle, and it understandably, like, she did not have the capacity to do it anymore. So I was super grateful that she even kept it going as long as she did. So it was definitely a whirlwind. Like, being a member and going straight to an owner was very unique. I wasn't a team member. I wasn't an instructor. I wasn't a part of the team in any way. So jumping from a member to an owner was very steep learning curve for sure.
And have you like put a spin on it or put your own take on it since then? And has it been hard to grow from it getting so small?
I definitely put my own spin on it. Honestly, like I knew it had the potential because they used to be like pretty large and I knew there was a market for it in our area. It needed a little bit more nurturing and more of that intentional time for it, understandably that the previous owner didn't have. So I was like, okay, let's just give it a little bit of time. Let's grow it. And it grew fairly quickly. I remember I bought it in June 2023, and at my reopening event in September, I got 13 new members like the day of, which was huge because I started it. There were 5 members, and I was one of them. So there was 4 left, and one of them became an instructor. So there was really 3. And so I was like, okay, guys, we got to get going. So I think putting my own spin on it was just like setting aside like a good amount of time every week and being intentional with like the connections, obviously making sure classes continue to stay strong, but being consistent with like the events that we were doing, knowing that if we had mom's night every month, we were going to have a mom's night every month, like being very intentional with the time that was being spent on it.
And then, so with the growth and taking over the business, you just grew exponentially with that October, right? With that event. And with Soccer Stars, Catherine and I, just like how you met, we do a lot of posting on the mom groups and local Facebook groups. We use social media. What have you found works the best for Fit4Mom? Are you using all of that? Is there anything unique to just like your franchise in particular that you found that works really well?
We definitely do the same thing, like Facebook groups, social media. We'll like do Facebook ads. Those definitely work. I would say also for us, like partnerships definitely have been really helpful. Specifically, like we partnered with the Livermore Library this summer, and we offer like a free class once a month for their summer series. And our Livermore Library here is super popular with all the moms. They do like really good mommy and me classes, music classes that are very busy and crowded. So I knew if I could get in there, that would be awesome. So it's a free class, but they do free marketing for me. So that is a win-win. And I've found like a good amount of exposure from that. Even if they can't come to that class, they'll like contact me and be like, oh, I can't come to the free Livermore class with the library, but can I come to another class? And for us, like a first class free is that's very helpful to get them out. So I would say partnering with like a local city library for us has been really helpful. And then also something that's been really great for us is free events. So like we do an anniversary event every year that we just had. We do a free Easter egg hunt every year that's helpful. And I think it's just a way for moms to like, it's just a great way for marketing. So it's like, oh, we're doing this free event. Oh, who is this? It's Fit4Mom. What's Fit4Mom? Even if they can't come to the event, then they become curious about us. And there are people who come to the free events who never want to join. And we know that, like, that may not be the long-term mom for us, but it's a great way to give back to the community and get our name out there. And most of the time we have pretty good return on those events.
I love that you say that. For anyone listening, with any business, the free events are really important. And Catherine and I both offer free events all the time. We attend as many tabling things as we can, but yeah. I think that can get overlooked because you're so worried about making profit, but you have to show them what the value is. And you can't do that without offering something for free. So I'm going to take that idea of the library. I'm going to go back and say, remember you wanted me to do that free class? I think I'm in.
Well, I was going to say, Moriah, do they have a plot of grass I can use since I'm expanding to Livermore?
They do. I have a good contact for you.
See, partnership. But yeah, the community events, and I think it's so important to be a part of your community. I mean, I don't know, the give back, the community impacts. I think that's why the 3 of us are doing so well in our businesses, because we genuinely love that and are passionate about that piece. And because of that, like, it just lends to our success. It's a byproduct, but brings me a lot of joy. I know it brings you a lot. I mean, Moriah, I've been to a number of your events. They're fantastic. The anniversary event was great. Again, it was, how many vendors did you have there?
There was like 13 of you guys.
Wow.
Sweet. It was great. And how many people attended?
We had like 60, maybe a little less, 58.
Yeah. Like that's a big deal. I think that's one of your superpowers, Moriah, is really bringing the community together. You have your client. Do you call them clients?
Yeah,
Like
members, clients. Yeah.
members, but then just the aspect of like you and me, right? Like bringing other businesses that provide services for young children together and, um, that support aspect, but then also it's a great way to cross refer business and get the word out about our different programs.
Yes, the community was the main part of why I took it over. I don't have a fitness background. I love the fitness part of it. The movement part of it is huge. Great for your physical, but also mental health, especially as a new mom. Like postpartum wise, it's super important, but it was all about the community for me. Like if I remember taking it over, part of it was selfishly too, because I was like, if this goes away, I'm going to have nothing to do. So someone's going to take this over.
Absolutely. And so transitioning a bit, what do you wish you knew before buying your
This is
franchise?
a good question. Part of me was like, oh, I wish I knew how much work it was. But then also part of me is thinking, I don't know if I wanted to know how much that was when I took it over. I think I would say specifically for Fit for Mom, and I'm sure other franchises as well, like the beauty of being a franchise is you're not doing it by yourself.
Mhm.
So they do a really good job, our home office, of providing new business mom groups, or we now have like peer performance groups and relying on the other franchises around me. Like I chatted with them occasionally, but I think I was just looking at it as another meeting, another thing to do that I just pushed it aside. Whereas that would have been really helpful for me in the beginning to maybe avoid some mistakes that I made. And now I very much rely on them. I look at them as my team, like other franchises around me who, like, there's a good amount in the Bay Area that are Fit for Moms. So we have, different clientels, but also a lot of similarities that we can bounce ideas off of. So I
That's
wish I would
great.
have leaned on that a little.
That's nice. We don't have, yeah, the closest soccer stars to me is in Novato, probably. What about you, Mike? Oh, Sacramento.
I mean, even,
Yeah.
with soccer stars, that was something I didn't know getting into it. I knew people looked really happy on the validation calls, and I was excited to join a really big team. But then you realize that everyone is there to help each other. And that's
Yeah.
kind of what Catherine and I do all the time. And even though we're far away from each other, it's so nice to have franchisees under the same system that understand your success and then your failures are where you're struggling, and then they can help you. And you definitely wouldn't have that if you just started your own business by yourself.
100%. And I think that's super valuable. And your team is wonderful, but they're your team. They're not the same. They don't know the full load that it can bear. I think that's a very valuable part of being a franchise.
Yeah, having that accountability too, I think it gives you, or it gives me, kind of accountability partners. And then just, yeah, just the support. You guys do an annual conference too, right? I think I've seen you post about that.
Yeah, it's every 18 months,
Oh,
but
Oh,
okay.
that's nice.
and it's wonderful. It's
And
so,
doesn't that reinvigorate and re-energize you and
yeah.
inspire? And don't you come back like, time to take
Yes.
it to the next
We
level?
can conquer the world. Yeah, 100%.
And I think because you're in fitness and we're in soccer, fitness is, like these are fun conferences. Like
Hmm.
I used to be in senior care and I actually like planned the conference and they were fun, but it's senior care and like fitness, like youth sports is a different vibe. And so I guess saying that, just like, I think, for listeners out there, like I've mentioned this before, but a part of this process is, just the partnership, right? Like feeling that partnership with your franchisor and the greater system. And I think that culture is really set at the top, and it trickles down to all the little franchise owners. Do you feel like the culture at Fit for Mom is a pretty good one?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, our CEO is fantastic. She's been the original, like she was the original founder of it. So she has such a great energy, and it's just, yeah, every time we all get together, it's so fun. I'm like, this is work. This is great. Like I love where I work.
That's awesome. I mean, looking at your life now, what's something that you feel like is challenging now? Like it was a challenge in the beginning for sure. And now as you're expanding, as you're growing, you're
Yeah.
looking at the next thing. What does that look like for you?
I would say this is something I really am trying to work on right now. I'm not great at it, is the balance of family and work, because I feel like for the first 2 years I've just been hustling, and now I feel like I can finally take a little bit of a breath, but it's hard to turn my brain off.
Yep.
So being present with my kids is really important to me, and I know they're only going to be this little for so long. So really setting boundaries has been something I've been really working on the past like few months. And it's been getting better. But for me, like I have to physically put my phone in a drawer away for a set number of hours a day because I know if someone texts me, I'm going to want to respond. So trying to be better about like, I'm a business, I have business hours. Like, yes, I'm a mom business, but if someone texts me at 9 p.m., I don't have to respond. I can be better about this.
That's so hard to do though. It is so hard. I woke up to like 27 text messages this morning and all I could think was I
Uh-oh.
knew that do not disturb was worth it last night. I feel like I actually got maybe 4.5 hours of sleep, maybe 5. So I'll take it.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
but you have to put it on mute or whatever you need to do because people think that it's a 24/7 business sometimes and it's not.
It can if you want it to be. It totally can.
Yes.
But I do
I
not.
really like that you brought up being present. And I love that you put your phone in a drawer because that is my biggest challenge because my brain, I can't turn off my brain. I can't, like, that's the biggest difference to me between a corporate job and your own business. In corporate, I could turn my brain off at the end of the day. It was off. I wasn't even worried about it until the next day when my day started. Now I'm excited. It's like, ooh, I could do this and I could grow this way. And it's all exciting things. It's positive, but then I'm with you. Like the kids are only this young once and I get upset with myself for, it's hard. It's hard for me to be present. Like I'm really working at that. I'm going to take your tip.
Yeah. I tried like putting timers on my apps and I would just press ignore and go right on into it. So like for me, I have to physically put it away. And that's how, I wish I had more of a separation because with teaching, it was the same way. Because teaching is kind of like your classroom is kind of like your own business. You can always do more.
Yeah.
And so that's always been a struggle for me. So I'm trying to be better.
How do you think teaching has lent itself to your success in this role, like being a teacher previously?
Yeah. I would say some like kind of what I just mentioned, running a classroom is similar to running a business in the sense you have to wear a lot of hats, right? Like you are chatting with the parents, but you're teaching the kids and now you're dealing with admin and you're planning and you're grading and you're juggling a lot of things. So I think in that regard, I was well prepared for that. And also, like I teach fitness classes, it's similar-ish. You have a structure, you follow it. I don't mind, being like the leader of a big group, speaking in front of people. That doesn't bother me. So those things really helped prepare me for owning a small business. But it's, it is also very different too.
I think you touched on something really interesting, though. I think a lot of moms that become business owners, like we already wear a lot of hats in a way. I don't feel like there's anything in the household that I don't handle or have a hand in it. And so when you go from running a household into running a business, you're used to wearing a lot of hats. And that could be one of the reasons why women are so successful in the franchise industry is we're resilient. We're good at following systems. We're organized, hopefully, most of the time.
Working at it.
Working at it. Don't look in my sink right now.
Mine either.
But in general, I think we're just, we run around and while I'm on a phone call, I'm doing laundry. Like I'm always multitasking. I have my hand in everything. And I think that's one of the reasons that women thrive.
I really agree. We do thrive in chaos,
Yes.
It's true.
I do. I have some mug that my husband got me and it was like winning at being like chief of organized chaos or something when I was doing big event planning. And I still have that mug because it's like organized chaos was.
I love organized chaos. Like I have my dining room table is usually organized soccer starts chaos.
Yeah.
And I know where everything is, but the naked eye would look at it and be like, oh my God.
I think that's like you said, women are really great at that. And I think sometimes I can get into my brain of like, oh, if I could just like not have this to worry about, then I would be happier. My life would be easier. And then I have to remember that's not always the case. Because when I was full-time stay-at-home mom and I didn't have that, I was searching for something. Like I was flipping furniture. I was selling people's clothes for them. So I have to now just take that and manage. Okay, so how can I take this, which is a great situation of owning my own business, flexibility, get to be with my kids. How can I put some boundaries on it to help me like be successful?
I think you bring up a great point. Mindset is what you're talking about,
Mhm.
mindset in business. And I think Morgan knows, I don't know if you know too, my obsession with personal development and the Growth Day app and Brendan Burchard, because I've done a lot of work on that the last 2 years. But so much of it is around mindset and just having clarity and going back to your why.
Yeah.
So that's something I have to, it's not always natural, but I have to just remind myself on getting clear on my values and my why when I'm getting stressed, like with
Yeah.
the business and the things, and just making sure that it's still all aligned, and
Yeah.
that helps.
And that's the beauty of being your own boss. Like if you need to take something off your plate, you can.
Right,
Like, I'm not going to do that right now. I'll save that for next quarter. Or,
right,
like that's what I love about it.
right. And I've gotten a lot better at saying no. I was definitely a yes girl, like always yes. I at some point in my career, somewhere, somehow, some boss told me, always yes, like just yes, and then figure it out. Like somehow that
Mhm.
got in my head. And man, did that start overwhelming me with like all the things with like, I think throwing kids into that mix. So gotten
Yeah.
a lot better boundaries as you talked about and not saying yes to everything. Morgan is planning a huge gala for her school right now, district.
Oh,
Yes, it's for 7 schools in our district, and it's once a year. It's our biggest event, and I volunteered.
of
Like,
course.
yeah,
But
you know,
you love that, but that feeds your soul, right? I
it
know that
feeds
sounds
my
cheesy,
soul.
that
It makes
sounds
me
cheesy, but
happy.
but
Yeah,
it does, and you're so good at that stuff.
yeah, it's great. So once a year I get it finished, but it's also opened so many doors. We're talking about like community impact. Like that's directly impacting my entire community. I get to meet all these incredible women who are also type A, also most of them working and volunteering their time. So it's just, yeah, it's all both of our franchises are just all about community. And I love that about it. And Fit for Mom's amazing. It's a perfect example, just like Soccer Stars, that you can run it from your home. You don't need a brick and mortar location. I think people probably don't even realize Fit for Mom is a franchise. I know when I've met my first owner, I thought she just started something incredible. And I was so impressed with her. And then I saw another one. I went, oh, wait a minute. There's a couple of these out there. So I think that's the brilliance of the franchise world right now is there's so many more opportunities than ever before. Just like Moriah, just kind of like last question before we wrap up is what advice would you have for a mom listening that's thinking, I want to start my own business? Maybe it's franchising for me. Would you advise to go and do it tomorrow? What's your advice for them? And what does that look like?
I would say passion is super important. So if they have it, do it. Go for it. Like you're always going to be wondering why, what if, all of those things. So I say go for it. The flexibility is wonderful. You can see your direct impact on your community and it's super rewarding for me. Like that is amazing. Like that is when I feel like I'm getting the best paycheck in the world is when I see like people hanging outside of class, going to each other's birthday parties. Like that's so fun. But I would say two things. Setting boundaries is super important, something I'm working on for long-term success if you don't want to burn out. And your kids are only going to be young for so little, so make sure that that's a priority. But then also like having them see you in that business role is super inspiring for them. So don't like overthink all the things. I definitely can do that. And then my second one would be build a team around you who you can lean on and you do not have to do it all by yourself. I know I have an incredible team and I'm so grateful for them. And I always looked at it like I was someone who, if a previous owner had come to me and was like, hey, I need help with this, like, could you help me? I think you would be really good at it. I would have loved that. I would have loved that. So now I'm in a place where I can provide that for so many people. So definitely look for the people around you and who can fill a need that you have that maybe you're not as good at or maybe you don't like doing. Like try to fill those jobs.
Really smart. It's a race to replace, right? Where do I not want to be? And just
Yeah.
replace yourself as fast as you can.
Yeah, definitely.
Beauty of owning your own business. You got to choose what you want to work on and where you shine and just fill in the gaps. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Moriah. Great
Yes.
having you on the show. So
Thank
for
you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Yeah, no, this was really fun. Hopefully, everyone out there got some value out of this episode. If you're interested in a franchise like Fit for Mom, please reach out to Morgan and myself at thefranchiseinsiders.com. Thank
Thanks
you.
for
Thank
joining.
you.